When I arrived, I made this little shelter, and thankfully I did, because it's been a deluge of rain. It's starting to ease a little maybe, but it's just been a no-go really. Just been sitting here next to this nice warm fire, taking it in. Although there's not really much to take in, because most things are perhaps wisely sat in their home. Oh, there's a robin that has come to my bird table. You won't be able to make it out, but he seems quite comfortable there. He's having a little peck. Typical when I haven't got the camera on it. Try to give him my little call. He doesn't seem bothered, really, to be honest, but maybe he'll learn. Guns N' Roses' Patience song eventually, and will come fluttering over to say hello when I sing it. And of course you never know, because it's nature. And that's the way of it. So I thought there's one thing I can do quickly before I go, and that is to show you how to make a sling out of a piece of rope or paracord. It's a nice bright orange, so you should be able to see it. Yeah. Have a short end and a long end. Wrap it over your hands, a bit neater than that, so that you've got 4 on this side. Each tag end is coming out on the opposite side. Now this bit, you want to make this the size of whatever ammo you want to fire, so let's try that size. And then just check that they're roughly the same length. This is going to be quite a short sling, which isn't a bad idea to start with, until you get the motion of it. So here we have it. Now it's just a simple case of grabbing that end, so we're like this, doing a half hitch. So you just make a little half hitch, pop it over, pull this end back round, feed it through those 4. Pull it tightly-ish, give it a little wiggle if it needs it, but then we go straight to the other end. And you do pretty much the same thing. You form a half hitch, pop it over, feed it through, and that should bite down, and then you've got your cradle. It should be 5 strings. I guess you can have as many as you want. I don't know, but this is a good amount, I think, to cup something with. And you can see we've got something that will be roughly that size to fit in there. A little bit smaller, and that is your 1 minute sling. Really, when you get the hang of it, it is a minute to make it from just a short piece of paracord. You obviously need a loop on the end. You don't have to, but a lot of people put a loop on the end so it stays on the finger when you throw. I'm going to just have 2 knots because it's such a short one. I can't spare it. And then you just get the right amount for both. When you run your fingers down, it's got to be about there. The knot is a way to grab hold of your sling in the correct fashion, but also it can create a whip, like, you know, if you've got a little knot on the end, that whip will help a lot more. So you'll be like that, something like that. And there you have it. Good to go. And that's one of the things that I've was requested from one of my friends called Sticks Outdoors Bushcraft. A lot of you will already know him. If you don't, I recommend following, as he is a decent chap and has got a curiosity about lots of different things, including how to make a sling and juggling, which I did plan to do today, but I don't want to get my balls wet, because inside, I believe, if it's like the last set I had, they have little seeds, and those little seeds will actually grow if they get too wet. So I'm going to keep those dry for now, pick a better day. But unfortunately, Sticks, you really do need to strengthen up the weak hand, because juggling 4 balls you need to do 2 in this hand as well as 2 in this hand. Sorry to break it to you, bud, but persevere with it, it's well worth it. And then we can maybe work on the 5th ball together. Because that's been my challenge for the last 20 odd years now, that 5th ball. So, yep, short visit. Now I'm going to scoff my tin of beans, which is, well, it's hot and it's food, so that'll do. And then I'll chop the bottom out and stick it on top of my chimney. And that'll just get a little bit more height. I know it'll stick on my chimney because it's Morrison's Savers, and they stick together, it seems. With a little bit of persuasion, they actually click together. Which brings me around to one of my favourite words at the moment, which is tessellation. To tessellate, to fit. I actually like random tessellation, where you find something like the tins that fit into each other perfectly, like the moon and the sun with the eclipse. You know, that moon has to be exactly that size to be exactly the same size as that sun over the back there. What's the chances of that? To get a total eclipse because of a moon with hardly any overspill or anything. These are random tessellations, and they interest me a lot, quite frankly. You may notice that I often start off with a hello and welcome, fellow shapers. Shapers is another way of looking at things in the form of tessellation. We are all shapes trying to fit in uniform into some kind of thing, and not only that, but we all shape things as well, and we are shapers of the future. So yeah, tessellation shapes. Maybe I got really interested in it when I was trying to put a square shape into a star shape or something, and I just couldn't quite get it in there, and that kind of probably bothered me when I was young or something. But it should tessellate. But and the feeling you get when something does fit, say you got the star piece and the star hole that fits perfectly through there, there's definitely a sense of satisfaction. Or is it just relief? It's hard to gauge it. But is it the satisfaction that it fits perfectly? Or is it the relief that it doesn't not fit perfectly? But also, the other types of slings are these two that I've made, which is a Balearic sling. If you can plait, you can make this sling. The only things that are different about this to plaiting is that you've done a double plait up the top to make a hoop for your thumb to go through, and you've split your plait off into two in the middle for the pouch. So you've got a plait of 3, plait of 3, plait of 6 in sets of 2, and a big hefty knot on the end, and I find that really does get a nice whip. I don't think it's as powerful as this. I've sent apples into orbit with a very similar one to this, but made out of a piece of leather, which I've lost at the moment temporarily, I hope, because I was having great fun with that. Leather is a great material to do something like this with. Not 100% sure, but I guess it's something to do with the way it grips hold of the ball. It's obviously not slippery like this stuff is. So, but you know, this is room for modification. Everything has got room for modification and improvements. Even stuff that's been around for centuries and used by people for centuries can still be modified, I think, to a point. Anyway, take care of yourselves out there, and always plan your escape routes. You know, say this fire went up, I know I can crawl through that gap over there, and I know that instinctively because I've pre-planned it. So yeah, stay safe. Over and out.